No beef for rivals, they playing either a title. Brothers can do anything when they decide to win a Range Rover. Dissecting bars from Takeover. Sometimes I text over like, nigga, this ain't over, laughing. I had to hold it down for Queens, cause I overvalue fiends. Shout to Brooklyn, all between, hoods be overlapping.
Y'all, was good? We got episode 6 today of the RapIsReligion podcast. Let's talk about it. Today we got a special guest. We're gonna do some stuff.
Yo, what's the deal? It's Hit Boy, man. I'm still lit from the KD3 release party last night, so y'all gotta bear with me.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations on that, bro. Congratulations, bro.
Look it. So y'all both run the page?
Yes, yeah, sir. Yeah, me and Mike. Yeah.
Right.
So you in New York right now, or?
Yeah, we're out here in New York. Just came on some quick shit, in and out.
Shit. Yeah, I'm hungover from last night too.
Man, I hear you. Shit.
Damn. Yeah, man. Tell us a little bit about the creative process behind KD3. You know, and what went into it.
Man, after dropping Magic and him announcing KD3 essentially on Magic, that shit just put like a little more pressure on us this time. Like before, you maybe had 2 weeks, I think, to prepare for KD1, KD2, like, and then Magic, like that shit dropped, like the artwork dropped like 12 hours before the album dropped. So it was like we never had that much of a lead up, that much anticipation, that much pressure on us. Like, so this time I knew we had to approach the shit with like the same energy and intensity of the Magic, but we had to put some of the KD, sensibility in there. So we tapped in, bro. And it's crazy because, when we was doing KD1, KD2, the world was closed for real. You know what I'm saying? It was the pandemic. It was slower. It was like just a different world at that time. So this whole KD3 process, Nas is on tour. I'm working with Big Sean, Benny the Butcher, all these different artists. And it was just a different process, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we still just made the time, bro. Like he flew back off tour. Like the last 3 records we made was I'm on Fire. I made that beat from scratch, like in front of him, and he recorded it. He flew back in for 1 day off tour. We made Till My Last Breath. This is all while he's still on tour. We made WTF SMH, and this is just like him. Literally, wherever he was, he flew in, came for like 3-4 hours, and we knocked the records out. So we just really just put in whatever time we could get and just make this shit like the illest we could.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, like, what is the chemistry like with you and Nas when y'all both get in the studio? Like, because I know, basically, King's Disease 1 was like his first Grammy. Should have been way more, but it was his first Grammy. So once you seen like the respect and the critical acclaim that came with King's Disease 1, what inspired y'all to keep that going, to get that series, pushing the way it is now?
I mean, I feel like, I've done a lot of big records. I done crazy records that didn't charted high and work with everybody. And it's been respect, but it's like, this KD shit just like took my respect level just as far as like real hip hop heads, real music heads understanding like, oh, Hit Boy not just niggas in Paris. He not just a club producer. You know what I'm saying? Like this really changed people's perspective of me. So me, that's like, it's half of my energy as well. That's like, I'm hitting Nas. I'm like, nigga, let's get back in. Let's tap in. Let's stay on them, keep the momentum up. Don't let the shit die. And it's like, we literally doing this shit for the people, bro. It ain't been no rollout with this shit. We ain't spending no money to make shit look like it's some shit it's not. Like it's literally just us making music. We post it on Twitter, IG, and let it live. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. This shit is unreal.
Y'all plan on doing any music videos for it?
Yeah, we gonna have videos off KD3 for sure.
Was it a quick project, or like was it one of those that just came together real smooth, or like?
Man, I mean, like I said, bro, we had more pressure on us this time, like because the nigga announced it on Magic, so people was hitting me every day. Anything I do, I could be with my son. I could post a clip on my story with my son, and niggas just hit me like, "Where KD3 at?" This is since last December. You know what I'm saying? So we've been building on it. Like anytime I got to just tap in and make beats while Nas wasn't there, I was trying to make as many ill joints as possible. And then when he gets there, just like I already got the shit laid out sonically. So it's like all he got to do is insert himself and do what he naturally does. And it's just an easy marriage with the music.
Right.
Yeah.
And I noticed that on the other, I noticed progressively from King Disease 1 to King Disease 3, like Nas, like he decided to go with less and less features. Is there a reason behind that? Because I think King Disease 3 doesn't have any features.
Yeah, exactly. This is Nas' first album with no features. Like his first official album with no features. So that's something crazy in itself, you know what I mean? And I mean, Nas never been on no like industry out type shit to where it's like, oh, I gotta go reach. And if you really think about it, man, it's only the same pool of, you know, people that you could feature. You know, if you're gonna go some trap shit, you know, some 21 Savage, Dirk, you know, we had Dirk on KD1. We had, you know, A Boogie and YG and different artists throughout the album. It's like I feel like we insert them in a way where it's not like we trying to make some commercial shit. We just like trying to make a record. And that's our whole thing, period.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that on this project, like, as I was bumping it seemed like Nas got, like, it seemed like he got a chip on his shoulder just from, like, the stuff that he was talking about. Like, one of the bars, he was like, I text over, like, this ain't over, like,
Wow.
and then, like, the situation with Pete Rock, it just seemed like he had, like, something on his, like, it seemed like he was in a different type of mode.
Yeah, I think he just was addressing shit in real time, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, with as far as like the Hova bar, like that's just like some fun play on words. They OGs, they homies, they really text, they really chop it, hang out, whatever. So it's like that's just some play on words shit and basically homage to that era, that beef that they had. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like letting niggas know like it's all solid now. But he was just addressing shit in real time. Like I had posted on Twitter about how Jay Elect called me randomly when I was in there. We was making Hood to Hood. And I put him on speaker. I was like, I'm in here with Esco. Put him on speaker. We chopping it. He was like, bro, if y'all niggas is in there making more music, bro, I'm coming to shoot the motherfucking studio up. Like, y'all niggas got to stop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that shit was just in real time. And he literally, you know, that's Nas. He put it in context real quick and put it on the song. And that bar is on Hood to Hood. It's like a lot of real life shit.
Right.
I might have to do a remix with him because that would be crazy.
That would be nuts.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. You go ahead. My bad.
So you rap and produce. Like, which one did you start off with? Like, which one was your first?
I started writing and rapping first, man. I literally didn't ever think I would touch a keyboard or make a beat or nothing. Like I met this kid when I was like 15. He had the FL. This nigga had the Acid Pro. Like he had everything to record and make his own albums. And we was 15 years old, so I was like blown away by that shit. He even had the CD burner to where he could print his labels and make like literal albums out of his crib. He had the whole shit. So I started going over there and making projects with him, rapping on his beats and rapping on just like other beats we could get access to at the time. And I started just fucking with it, like just playing around. I wasn't even serious. Like, I'm like, man, what's this shit? It looked like a video game to me. So I just hopped on and I'm like, what is this? He was like showing me the basics of the shit. And I was like, yo, this shit actually fun. So I like kind of like replaced playing video games with doing beats every day. I was like fuck with the beats and then just, like load shit up, record to it, whatever. But the shit just like I just took so much of a liking to producing. I caught a hit, you know what I'm saying? I got a placement at 19 and I started making beats at 16. So 3 years into my shit, I had worked with J-Lo 3 years from never touching a beat to like making beats, you know what I'm saying? I worked with J-Lo. So I was like, nigga, I gotta go crazy with this shit. And I just like, you know, start really diving into that more, which I'm grateful for, you know what I'm saying? Because shit get greater later. Like now I'm able to approach my beats in just like a a way more mature way. You know what I'm saying? Like I get to sit with Nas, I get to sit with Big Sean, I'm around Benny the Butcher, all these great artists, and that shit is just helping me get better.
Yeah. So what's your like as far as like trap, doing like soul sample kind of beats, like what's your favorite type of beats? Like when you make them, you just bro,
Listen
like
to
this.
KD3, bro. Listen to KD3, my nigga. Like
Yeah, all
30.
them.
I mean, I personally have never in my life, and I love producers. I love production. I study this shit. I know the history of a lot of producers and their catalogs. I never heard a nigga make legit in 30 the same producer. You know what I mean? Like I never heard it, bro. Like I never heard Kanye do an 808 ass beat like 30 or Till My Last Breath. He could do legit, but I never heard him do a 30. I never heard Alchemist do a 30. He could probably do legit soulful shit, but I feel like I'm just like setting a new precedence in this shit and letting niggas know that you could explore with any sound and you could be great at any and every sound. Like literally, bro, you can't get no more soulful and black than legit right now, bro. Like that's the blackest shit ever. You know what I mean? It's like, so just like, I don't know. I like to make all type of music, bro. But it's like, I feel like we seeing some shit niggas ain't never seen before.
Yeah.
That's why this shit is just like a lot of niggas discombobulated. Like we want Alchemist. He been on Alchemist production this year. He been on Primo production this year. He been on a lot of niggas production, and people didn't go crazy and champion and shit. So it's like people just complain to complain now, and it's like I feel like I'm doing some shit niggas never seen in production.
Yeah, and I think too, one thing that makes your production stand out a lot that I noticed was like you know how to like add, like you know how to do moments with your production. Like it's not just one little loop and then you know what I mean. It'll like have something and then it'll build up and switch to a whole different like kind of.
That's production, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
really producing and taking time. Like that shit don't always be just in one sitting. Like, you know, I'm able to go back in and spend my time just digging and just to make that shit ill as possible.
Yeah.
Man, what city did y'all do most of the recording in?
We did most of the recording at the same studio I work at in LA. Did a lot of we did some stuff in New York, but we did most of the all 4 albums at my studio in LA.
So a lot of producers especially nowadays, they like to use the producer tags, but well, obviously you refrain from doing it. I just wanted to ask, like, why? Like, why?
I went on a run like the last few years, like probably from like 2018 to like up until like Magic came out. I've been using my tag less and less since Magic because I feel like I kind of made my mark. My first beat I ever sold, I used the tag on it, and then I just stopped using it. You know what I mean? And I really went on that run. I feel like from like Big Sean, Berserk, you know, Nipsey Hussle, Racks in the Middle, rest in peace, my bro. Just like all the way from that era up until like Magic, I was going crazy with the tag, and that shit helped my brand get up. That shit, and I feel like I was late in the game with that. Like if I would have had a tag on Niggas in Paris or Click or Backseat Freestyle, who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit ups, you know, even just like from a financial perspective, if a nigga like, you know, Metro Boomin, his tag is on the radio all day, he could go get different bags. He could go get a DJ bag. He could go get a hosting bag because his name is a part of this popular situation, this popular song. My biggest hits didn't have no tags on them. So this shit was strictly about the music, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I feel like I'm back to the point where it's like I really honestly don't give a fuck no more. Like it's like people gonna have their perspective. Whoever's supposed to tap in with me, they're gonna tap in with me regardless, tag or no tag. They're gonna go look it up if it's hot enough. So, you know, I'll still use it. I used it on 30. I used it on a couple joints. I just been like a little less with it lately.
So you would say if you like an upcoming producer, you should be having like a tag. Would you say that, or you say it just really just how you want
it? I can't call it because when I was up and coming, Kanye told me that tags was corny. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was another reason I wasn't doing tags and shit.
So where
you good? Go ahead.
All right. So like where did that connection with you and Nas come from? Like when did y'all start to like get together and be like, you know, let's get together and make some heat.
Man, it wasn't even like planned out like that, bro. It was crazy because I had tapped in with him back in like 2013. We had a quick meeting. He came to my crib actually, and I had the studio over there. Played him some music. We vibed out, but nothing came of it. And this is like 2013. So 2020, I saw him with my homeboy Double, my nigga Double. They was doing something. It was in the studio, and they was working with the homie OG Parker. And I just literally replied to the homie's story. I was like, man, you need to get Nas over here. Like, I know I got some shit for him right now. Literally the next day they pulled up. Nas was with it. He came through and he was actually working on an EP. He was supposed to be like a Valentine's Day EP, like something catered for like the ladies and just like some vibe. And that's where the songs on KD1, Replace Me with Don Toliver, All Bad with Anderson .Paak, and a couple of them other joints like kind of like was on like the love side, because that's where my mind was when before he got to the studio. They told me like that's what he was doing, so I had put those records to the side. I already had those ideas with Don and with Anderson .Paak, and it just developed naturally, bro. Like it was just like after the first day, we worked on a couple of joints. He was like, yo, I'm gonna pull back up. I'm gonna keep coming through. And I just was like, that's probably just Nas just trying to be cool. He ain't really gonna slide through. He just kept coming back, man. And then I was just like, fuck it, I'm about to start pulling up other beats. Like, I'm not even finna be on the lovey-dovey Valentine's Day shit no more. Like, let me just play beats. And he like started writing to shit immediately. So it's like, it's just crazy, man. This shit just naturally developed.
Yeah. So you was playing him beats and shit, like he wasn't really like, he wasn't too overreactive of it, but you knew he was like fucking with it based off the fact that he kept.
He was reacting to the shit. I wasn't. I was just thinking about the Valentine's Day project, so I wasn't trying to even go there. But the minute I went there, we caught it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. How important would you say it is like to like get uncomfortable like as a musician, like with your production and all of that? Like how do you get yourself uncomfortable?
You said get uncomfortable or get comfortable?
Yeah, get uncomfortable. Like,
man, it's like with this Nas shit, bro. Like a lot of purists and a lot of real music heads love Nas. You know what I'm saying? He not really like the industry, just hype, just numbers, just all that shit. So it was a little more pressure. Niggas thinking I'm just do club beats. Niggas just think I'm whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just like hype records, and there was a lot of people doubting, shit on my side. So that just pushed me to be like, nah, I gotta go crazy. I gotta really, it's like a chance to really prove myself to myself and to show people and just showcase like how many bags I can really hop into.
word. So
how did you? I was gonna say, like, how did you come to realize like music was a way for you? Like, when do you start to really take it serious?
I always loved music because my uncle was in a group. It was a pretty big group, late 80s, early 90s, called Troop. And I used to live with my uncle when it was super popping. So seeing the lifestyle, I was always in love with it. But when I turned 13, I was like, nah, I'm finna do this shit. I don't know how. I just picked up a pad, started just writing whatever lyrics came to my mind, and it just developed from there. And then 2 years into that, that's when I met the kid that had it set up to do, albums and shit. And from there, it was a rap. I was like, nah, this is it. Like, even if my music wasn't on shit back then, I just still knew. I was like, nah, I'm gonna make this shit happen somehow, some way.
word.
Well, you saying, like working with J-Lo, was that your first big break, or?
That was my first real placement on a real major label, major album and shit. Yeah.
Right, and I noticed that like you could go into like different bags with the stuff that you work with, because I know that I seen that you did Scream and Shout with will.i.am and Britney Spears. You did Backseat. You did Click. It's like, and now you're doing the stuff with Nas where it's like the the soulful, just different elements. So like, my thing is like, who inspired you to get in all of these different bags and these different elements? Because you in two different worlds, working with Britney Spears and Will I Am on some EDM electro type
All right.
shit, and then you doing soulful shit on top of that. Ain't too many producers doing shit like that.
At all.
Like just making it about the music, man. Like it's like whatever I'm feeling in the moment, that's where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's some trap shit. I mean, nigga, I worked with Nas and Nardo Wick in the same year. I don't know if none of them producers on Nardo album could
That's
ever
crazy.
work with Nas and make some shit. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like that's just what I'm on. Like I work with Playboy Cardi. I had 5 songs on Death Race for Love or Juice World. Me and Juice like had probably 30, 40 songs, bro. That nigga attacked every beat I ever gave him. And you know, whatever drop. But we got shit in the cut. It's like, man, I feel like I could just connect with anybody who love music for real. Like if you on some industry shit and you pull up on me, you're probably not gonna hear nothing because I'm actually bringing actual soul. It's not like some just like, oh, I'm about to make a spectacle real quick and it's no bullshit with me, bro. It's real music. So only real music motherfuckers connect with me.
Right. Would you say like whenever you making beats for people, is it real easy for you to tap into like their energy as far as like what kind of beat you gonna make? Or do you need to kind of like talk to them, get in the conversation first, kind of see where they at? Like,
It depends, man. Sometimes I hit that shit on the head. Like I listen to what, you know, artist does, try to make a pack before they even get to me. And by the time they get to me, a lot of times it work out. I play shit and they'll be like, nah, this is it. But then sometimes they might just be in a different headspace. So,
yeah,
you know, you might have to build with them. You might have to talk. And that's the thing with me and Nas. Like we might have a 2-3 hour conversation before we start even recording. And we just might be just chopping it. And most of that conversation will go into the song. Like we'll just be discussing just current events, whatever's going on. That nigga just tap right in. Like that's like a real gift he got.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's important for like really making long lasting music is when y'all really got that authentic kind of just we just vibe, like we chopping it up, we building, and then the music is just a byproduct of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely.
So what's Nas's creative process like when he get behind the booth? Is it like, do he like write and then like do he take time with his records? Like how he go about his creative process?
And bro, it's just like we just be capturing the moment, whatever we can get, like the most, like, you know, he one thing is like he know when he's maxed out for the day type shit. Like some people will try to just keep pushing. He like, nah, I think I'm good for the day. Like I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna rest on this idea. So it's like, it's honestly, bro, this shit been so easy. That's why it's 4 albums in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I just seen somebody post this nigga Hit Boy produced 25% of all Nas albums ever. Like I'm like, damn, that's in a 2-year span. That's just because we just letting this shit flow. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about nothing but the music. Like this shit is inspiring us.
Yeah.
And that do go back to what I was saying with Nas being in a different bag. Cause I remember when he dropped what was it? He dropped Life is Good and he took like a break. He took a long break. And it was like when he got back with you, he just got into a different mode to where he was like, I don't care, like I'm gonna just whatever good, it just seemed like Nas is hungry. Like Nas
Yeah.
been hungry, but it's just like it seemed like he got a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah,
like
he having fun making music, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know, what the situation might have been. If it was the label holding him back from dropping as often as he wanted or whatever the case is, but now he got complete freedom. He could just do whatever he want to do, just like, and that nigga want to make music. And it's like, he want to keep rocking with me. I'm going to just keep trying to push myself to come with new sounds and be more soulful and be more just locked in.
Yeah. So the King's disease thing, y'all ain't planning on letting up on this. Like this is just gonna keep going until it just naturally.
We gonna see, man. We gonna see. We gonna see, bro. I don't know what's next, man, but I feel like, you know, the people giving us good feedback, giving us the energy, and that's half of the shit for me. It's like we doing this literally for the people. So it's like we gonna see how this shit go.
So when y'all decided to lock back in, because I know King's Disease one, that's how Nas got his first Grammy. When y'all decided to lock back in, was it before the Grammy or was it after? Did y'all already realize what
Bro,
y'all had going on?
we was still working on KD1, and we was in the studio like, bro, we have to do KD2. Like, as we was like, before that shit even was done, you know what I'm saying? We just felt the synergy, felt like this shit different, so we got to just keep it going.
So you produced that record off Beyonce's last album, Thick.
Right.
My girl loves that song, but I just wanted to ask, like, how does Beyonce? Were you up like in the studio with her when she was recording, or did you just send her the beat? Or how did that come about?
Man, so I did the song "Feeling Myself" with Nicki Minaj and Beyonce some years ago, and I had did that thick beat back then. So I did that shit 2014, and she just held on to it. Like she had ideas, but hadn't fleshed it out, and that sound just wasn't where she was at that time. So she held on to that beat and finally put it out 8 years later.
So it was a surprise that she kind of told you beforehand.
Nah, I knew we had tapped in. I went to the studio, heard some of her music, and seen the vibe she was on, and I was like, yeah, this gonna work perfect.
That's what's up. It's
So
weird.
is there any artists out now that you got like who would you is there any artists out now that you would say like you got more chemistry with or like the most chemistry with?
Man, I'm gonna say Nas and Big Sean and my nigga Dom Kennedy. That's probably like the top three people I would say, like, just anytime we get together, we gonna make something, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be a hook or we just conceptualize, it's gonna be some type of forward progress, forward thinking, like with them three for sure.
Have you ever been like challenged by artists, like niggas telling you like
I
certain
mean,
things? You know what I mean?
bruh, like, nah, shit, he ain't just like rapping to every single joint I give him. Like, he challenged me for sure. Like, I thought the album was done, bro, at like 14 or 15 songs. And he was like, bro, no, we got to keep pushing. We got to do a couple more. I was low key like, man, what the fuck, my nigga? Like, this shit hard, bro. He was like, nah, like, I know we could, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we caught Till My Last Breath. I'm on Fire, WTF SMH. Shout out my nigga Jansport J. He produced the second half of WTF SMH. Yeah, bro, we caught them crazy vital records for this album at the last minute from him pushing.
Yeah. All right.
Man, so who do you find yourself listening to nowadays? You know, besides your own music.
Man, I listen to a lot of Peasy, my nigga Peasy from Detroit. I listen to Rio. Who else I be listening to? Man, shit. It'd be like people ask me this question, it'd be so like hard to remember what I be listening to. Let me see. I'm looking at my search right now. Man, shit, bro. Yeah, I listen to old shit. I'll be listening to I was just listening to Bulletproof Wallets by Ghostface Killer, listening to Daz and Corrupt, that raw album that Daz put out. I'll be listening to gangster shit. I don't know.
Yeah. What kind of music you grew up on? Like what was being played in the crib, like in the house and stuff?
Soulful, R&B, classic, Motown shit, Teddy Riley, R&B, Babyface. Like I said, my uncle was in Troop, so it was a lot of soulful R&B and like pop shit. Mary J. Blige, Gang, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Classic.
Is there an artist that you haven't worked with that you want to work with?
Man, everybody I damn near grew up on loving, I've been worked with or been around and tapped in with. So honestly, whoever really want to lock in, man, for real, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I noticed on King's Disease too. I seen Eminem was up there, and I seen Lauryn Hill was up there. Lauryn Hill, it's hard to get her out. So,
Yeah,
like, what was the process behind getting L Boogie on that? Like, how did y'all make that work?
that's a complete Nas, call. Like that's his homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? They really cool. They done records and we made that song and we wanted a feature on it. He had did the two verses. He was like, we should get somebody on it. And he was like, man, I sent it to Lauren and she fucking with it. And like 2 days later, 1 day later, she sent the verse over. I was like, this is really happening right now. Like crazy.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Probably got a couple more minutes. I got to make a couple moves.
Bet.
So I want to ask you about this whole Kyrie situation. Kyrie and Kanye, really.
Wow.
About it.
Man, honestly, bro, I don't do politics. I don't even vote on the Grammy board, man, because I don't even do music politics. Like I can't call it, man. This world is insane, but it is what it is, bro. Like I can't even get into that.
For sure. So you got you got your son, right? How old is your son?
My son too. That's been another parallel. Like, you know, he wasn't even born when we started KD1. Then, you know, he's getting older. He's being around Nas all the way until KD3. Damn near every session he was there. You know what I'm saying? I made a post on my gram about that. Like, he really was in there. Just like, I'm watching him. He giving me energy. Like, I'm just having to balance. I'm like trying to tell him to be quiet while Nas is recording. It's like a whole thing to it. Like, literal dad mode, daycare / being a producer, you know what I mean? It's just like, that shit was a real task, but it's beautiful, bro. Like, that's the shit I wish, you know, my pop's been in prison most of my life, so that's what I wish I would have motherfucking had.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit. He absorbing all that shit too. Like, you know what I mean?
Man, it's gonna be.
You got a
He's
great.
gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be scary.
Word, nah, for sure.
So, this shit is really my last question, bro. Like when it's all said and done for you, man, like how you want to be, you know, remembered by the people.
Man, shit, that's just great at what I did. You know what I mean? Like somebody who really loved and had passion for what I do.
Why
Mm-hmm.
My last question is, how has fatherhood, like, has it impacted like your artistry or how you go about certain things in terms of like your music and your creative side?
Man, yeah, bro. And it's like, even time, as far as time, like I don't have time to just be making beats all day like I used to when I didn't have a kid or when I was younger. Like, I really got to balance it out now. I got to like be there for him and put that time in with him. And just like even my commute from the crib to the studio and shit, like that's just a real whole process. Like, cause I want to be there. I'm not feeling like, you know what I'm saying? Like, put my kid off on somebody else or whatever. Like, I'm gonna have him there. So this should really be like vital every minute, every moment. It's just like important to me.
Yeah, 100. So,
Yeah. Does he show like interest in music already? Or?
Bruh, he's in there, my nigga. Like, you can see on the post, like he bobbing his head, he messing around, like it's crazy, bro. Like, he love it.
Right. What advice would you give to an upcoming artist or producer?
Man, take advantage of, you know, these platforms out here, man. Make some quality shit that you feel and put it out to the world and just keep doing that. And you're going to end up exactly where you want to end up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
For sure. Appreciate y'all, man. We're going to tap in.
Oh, for sure, man. We appreciate you taking the time, man, to talk with us, man.
Yeah, man.
Take it easy, man.
Don't keep doing y'all thing.
Yes, sir, for sure. Congratulations on the album,
For
man.
sure.
Love.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Love.